Okay, so I've been playing with Manticore, playing with the stuff that was provided in it. Um, the examples are kind of old and they don't work uh, automatically. Uh, Let me show you this. So this is a very, let's look at this example here. Um, it is, let's see. So these look like empty functions. Now, this is interesting. I think what's going on here is function test. We now call that constraint. This is older. This looks old because you now let's look at the errors when you try to. And this is one thing you should do before you try to run these analysis tools. Make sure your contract compiles. So it's complaining about function tests. So let's try this. See if we can get it to compile. So let's see what happens now. Ah. Let's see. Probably still gonna come. Ah. So this is a fallback function. Yeah, it should be. And I'm just gonna copy this directly. Here we go. There we go. One more error. Okay, now we can try actually running it through and you can see it'll provide output. So what I guess the whole point of this is they use, the version, whatever version that they wrote these solidity contracts in. If you're playing with this, is old. So what do we have to do? We had to add visibility. We had to change like the name, the constructor to be constructor with public rather than just the name of the contract. So let's see what we got here. We can find what we did based on the time. All right. So let's go in mcore underscore y7 eltcyi. And you notice it comes up with a whole bunch of stuff. There is first a summary, global, let's see, global test summary. There we go. No. What is it? It's, oh, no test. And you can see it gives you the global, runtime coverage. So it gives you the coverage. You also have things like user, three, six. And you can see so the different things, the different coverages. It has a whole bunch of stuff, and same thing for, now what's constraints? Okay. Interesting. I have to take a look at this a bit more closely to understand exactly what's going on here. Declare. Okay, it's declaring the storage. Declaring data, bytecode, transaction buffer. Interesting. Then the transaction. Now, this is interesting because I don't know. This is such a simple let's look at this one. this is interesting because this contract, I mean, it doesn't seem to, I mean, it has a whole bunch of empty functions. So it's kind of interesting. I guess they're looking at how much is covered. I mean, that's clearly one thing that they're doing. They're clearly looking at the different accounts, and very interesting. I think, I mean, honestly, this is the first time I've used this tool, so I'd have to do a little bit more looking to understand fully what's coming out of it, which is very interesting. But you can see there's a lot out there. Let's look at this one. What's the other one that we did? Let's look at this one. So this is okay. Function. Let me see. My guess is it needs. So this looks like it's designed to test for overflow, but I bet I have to make this. Oh, let's see. Before we do anything, let's try to. It's missing the pragma. That's right. It doesn't use this, and this is used in pretty much all the more modern examples. Probably we're going to do two things. So the first thing we're going to do is do that. And then we're going to do, whoop, that's not where we want it. Want it here. All right, now, let's see what happens. This is a warning, so it may be okay with that, but it may not. It's going. It's doing its analysis. And it's actually doing something. All right. So let's see, 15. All right. So it's covered 85, almost 90%, which is really good. See what else we got here. We got no global findings. I'm curious about this shell script they got here. Okay. So this is actually calling it. It's actually calling it from the original version that we put down. And that's probably it tracing through. So this is the transaction of creating and calling. So this is, it's gone through. Remember, each call is a transaction. So this is actually creating the contract, and you see the data. That's the binary version of the contract. And calling the constructor, making the different function call. So this is pretty clear. Transaction 2 from attacker. So I guess they're trying to see if it would, what it returned. I'm gonna have to look up what that is. And let's do constraints. This is another one that's not as clear. Let's do, we do summary. %. And what's this PKL? Some kind of binary, so can't really read it. And they also put it out in now I'm curious. Very curious. Well, it's not giving me so this is from the Ethereum people. I'm trying to see if they have the contract test. So this goes through, and what we're going to do, I found an example that is basically from a GitHub, so it's totally free. on security and smart contracts. That was going to be the topic of tomorrow's video. But for now, you can see how it can be used. You know, some of the output, I think it'll take a little bit of reading up to understand what it's doing. But it does give you an idea of coverage. It does different transactions. It looks like it does some, you know, creating different examples, global, sim example, init runtime, global, simx example, solc. Creates a whole bunch of stuff when you run it. Now here's another thing we can try before we complete today. I think that's it. What is it? Where is it? Oh, let's use a local then. Manticore verifier. Oh, got the, there we go. And, oh, I'm not in the right, came up and did not go into the right directory. Now let's try it again. There we go. So, does not show a whole lot. Let's see if it did anything. Well, it is now, yep, it did produce some output. Well, at this point, why don't we, produce some kind of binary file. So, not quite sure what we got out of that, but it, Peason found 0 properties. All right. Okay, well, we started going through Manticore, and there's a lot here. Again, their examples are kind of old, so you're going to have to play with them to get them to work. You know, add the pragma, make sure you change if there's a what do you call it, a constructor. Make sure you add visibility to any of the methods, and it spews out a lot of data, some of which is more clear than others. So it can give you some valuable coverage information, and it seems to do quite a lot, but this is a lot here. I mean, it's part 1 is getting this thing up, and then part 2 is understanding what it is telling you. Right now I understand a little bit of what it's telling me, but not what I would need if I was testing this on a real contract. So that is something that I think we want to get into more in further videos once I have a chance to read through more of the documentation. But tomorrow I did find a very interesting uh, GitHub that talks about security, and I think that's worthy of going through because they talk about a whole bunch of stuff, and it's free, so you can just download this stuff. And if you found this useful, please give a like. Please subscribe, ring the bell, share it with your friends who are also interested. And I will speak to you next time.